Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning on, yes, transfer window slams shut day. Transfer, that's the window closing. It's the closest noise I could get. It does say window closing. Does it sound like a window? It sounds like a gun, doesn't it? Anyway, good morning and welcome back to the channel. It is, why is Scotland so different from everyone else? I mean, the window in Spain, Italy, France, the UK, Germany, everywhere closes at 7 p.m. No, Scotland, man, fucking, we're just going to close at 8 o'clock, man. Just for the sake of it. I just think it's weird. Anyway, transfer news today as it stands, nothing. Nothing as yet. I might have just been given a notification. There's nothing happening as yet. Obviously, last night the big one was we're going to get some money from O, which is still absolutely bonkers. But as it stands this morning, Celtic, there's a lot of chat about Celtic trying to get in 4 or 5 players. I think if we get in 3, it'll be a good end to the window. Hammarby, can we get the deal done with Hammarby for Sebastian? Is a player that we've been looking at for a couple of weeks now. And then there's the Dolberg one. Can we get that one today? That's the two obvious ones that we're looking at for Celtic to get over the line. There's also the story coming out from Bristol with their player coming on loan to Celtic. So we'll wait and see what happens with that one. So that would make it 3. And then there's a 4th unknown. But I don't know if Celtic will get a 4th in. When you look at it, I think that the window shuts at 11 o'clock, James. That's what I'm saying. In Scotland, it shuts at 11. Everywhere else in Europe, everywhere, it's 7 o'clock. Scotland's the only place where it shuts at 11 p.m. tonight, which is 12 o'clock European time. That's way past my bedtime on a school night. Let's change the angle of this camera a bit. That's way past it. But no, even Sky saying the window closes tonight at 7 p.m. England and Germany, France, Spain, Scotland, 11 o'clock. European closing times around Europe. England, Italy, Germany, Spain, France are all 7 p.m. tonight. Scotland, 11 o'clock. Unbelievable. And what are the SFA exactly hoping to try and achieve by being completely different? And this is what's wrong with Scottish football, isn't it? It is what's wrong with Scottish football. It's like the crowd go one way, Scottish TV deal goes the other way. So now it's not just transfer window wise. It's everything, isn't it? It's everything that is Scottish about Scottish football. Yes, it's a Millennium Falcon. It's a speaker. It's a Bluetooth speaker, Millennium Falcon. I've had it for about 15 years. Celtic board need the Millennium Falcon. Rushing at the last minute as per usual. Scottish football is stuck in the past. It is, isn't it, Scott? When you look at... I'm lost for words on why... Oh, Matt O'Reilly is travelling to Marseille for a medical, for a loan move. Well, that's no good to Celtic, is it? That's no good for Celtic, because we wouldn't get any money for that. Matt O'Reilly's on the move. It's nothing. It's not directly related. Well, it is directly related to Celtic, because if he was sold, surely we would get a bit of money just to cheer the board up. And if anyone is available in the Celtic Park area tonight, and they want to jump on a Zoom call with me from Celtic Park live, feel free to hit me up in the comments. Feel free to, his Juventus deal must have fell through, going to Marseille on loan. Feel free to hit me up on TikTok, not TikTok, Twitter or Facebook. But as I think Celtic will pay 11 million for the striker, it's simply a panic buy, shocking situation the board need to take into task at the next AGM. Do we get any sell-on from Ohm? Some people are saying in the comments yesterday that it was, but I don't really. I don't want us to get any more money. It'll keep the boards happy. That's all it will do. Billy Grace says, "Morning, Baz. I did predict all this. I really, how really poor we are. Yeah. Let's not get too disheartened today because it's going to be a long day. I am on for around about an hour this morning. I am going to be on for the afternoon edition of the transfer window, and then we'll be in for the closing section of the window also. That'll be an epic. That could be a 3-hour gig, that one. Starting at 9 o'clock. Yeah, so I'll probably start about 8 o'clock as normal Celtic Park time, and we'll run through to the end of the window. So I heard a 12%. I'm not taking. Do you know? I don't think that we should go purely on hearsay. I mean, and at the end of the day, Celtic board getting any money for it's not going to benefit the team. It's not going to benefit the team whatsoever. It's not going to benefit the team one bit. But what it does do, does this really sound like a win? I'm going to need to get a different sound. That's the window slamming shut, which we'll do later tonight. We'll wait and see. So make sure that you keep an eye on the channel today, because obviously there's going to be some speculation, and there's also going to be hopefully some Celtic players do arrive. It's this notification. Let's close that window down. It's too early in the morning for Celtic to be even doing any type of business, because let's face it, I think Nicholson would have just been waking up. I need my coffee. He doesn't drink his coffee out of a Celtic mug, that's for sure. Well, maybe he does, and maybe it's one giant Celtic mug, and maybe it's a Celtic mug that when weird, it's got pictures of fans on it. Got pictures of fans. So the latest this morning is obviously Dolberg to Celtic, Adam Ida out, Tounekti in, Yang out. That's what we know could happen today. Well, we definitely know that Yang and Adam Ida will be away this morning. Can Celtic get the two players in that are on the thumbnail with the video? Should actually just put that up. Downloads. Can Brendan Rodgers, and that's the Celtic transfer policy. There's a man spinning plate in the clouds. He drinks coffee bars out our season ticket holder. So how many players can Celtic get in today on deadline day, the morning show? That is the two players that we've been linked with so far that are realistic in Celtic trying to get in this window. Will Brendan Rodgers be happy tonight? Will Brendan Rodgers be even at Celtic Park? He'll be sitting at home. And this is why I think that, you know, in the good old days of Scottish of football, and not just any club, you'd like your manager to be there to welcome in the players, you know, on the phone to the player. God, just come to Celtic, mate. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to try and win the Europa. We're going to win a treble. Get some medals in you, and then we'll sell you in 2 years' time. I promise. Well, there's no promise about it, because I need to change the angle of this camera. There we go. That's a little bit better. It's all about the angles, isn't it? Let me just see. I think Bowie is a player. I don't think that Hibs are too Hibs aren't interested in selling Bowie from what is coming out. They're not too interested in sell. Lanky reckons we'll get 3. I think that the chat is 4, but we'll wait and see. And knowing Celtic, it will be late on. The highlight after yesterday was Mowolski getting hooked after doing absolutely F all, and they think he's the second coming. I told you he was rubbish. I don't rate him as a player, to be honest, Tino. I don't rate him as a player. He never done much against Celtic over the years, you know. And when you look at it, and I'm going down for that dive, and even Liam Scales calling it out as a dive. Do you know? He knew what it was. Big striker from St Mirren. That's not going to happen. Sign Nuno Espirito and pay Brendan, make a fresh start. Yep, he did play. Marcelo did play. Marcelo. Depends what country you're coming from. He did play well yesterday, and I think that he'll play more than Kieran Tierney. Now there is still this interesting one that I'm going to keep an eye on today, because although it doesn't have a direct effect on Celtic, it may have, because Wissa from Brentford has spoke out publicly last night of his desire to move away, and if that happens, they could put in a late bid for Dyson Maeda. They have sounded Celtic out before, and they are waiting for this. So there's a lot of spinning plates. There is a lot of spinning plates that are going on with Celtic today. The transfer policy for Celtic is maybe up in the clouds. I think an ongoing transfer policy. Oh, there's an interesting one. Is KT another James McCarthy signing? But we didn't pay 10 million for him, Lanky. We didn't pay 10 million. I wonder how many people now are regretting giving Greg Taylor the stick that he was given at Celtic, because I think that was the real reason that he left. Do you know? No way Brendan wants Maeda sold. No chance. I'm not saying that he does, Brown Warrior. I'm just saying that there is a set of dominoes that if it falls in the right direction, Celtic could get a late offer for Dyson Maeda. It's been well spoken about that if Wissa is sold, they're holding out for as top money as possible. He's now come out and said in public that he wants to leave to go to Newcastle, and if that happens today, I would expect a late bid for Dyson this afternoon. So yeah, we definitely missed Taylor. For one, I never wanted KT back. Did no one see KT passion? Or his overhead kick. Patrick Roberts leaving Sunderland. I think TK will play more than James McCarthy. Yes, he will. And I think we're just being a little bit thingy this morning. Just keeping an eye on various outlets for a Celtic update. Trending Ajax. Oh, here we go. Is this... No. Translate this in English. Why does Dutch never translate? Celtic are preparing another offered for Kasper Dolberg late last night, this morning. Celtic, the news that's coming out this morning is that Celtic are the only team to have made a concrete bid for Kasper Dolberg. And Anderlecht have refused the first two offers for Kasper Dolberg. Celtic are coming back in with another offer this morning for the player. There is still the option for the player to stay at the club. Now, last night, Anderlecht fans took to demonstrating outside the stadium. They took to demonstrating outside the stadium because of the lack of ambition for the club. The fact that they were gubbed 2-0 in a derby. They had 2 players sent off in a derby. So they took to blocking in the players and the team bus and all the rest of it, and the officials, as a mass protest on what's going on at their club. Do Celtic fan base have the appetite for that kind of 1990s? Yeah, Kieran, I know that he's not sold on the prospect to come into Celtic. I said that yesterday in a video. That was going around yesterday morning, that one. But we'll wait and see. But I said yesterday as well, I mean, if he's not sold on going to Celtic, shouldn't Brendan Rodgers be on the phone to him and saying, big man, you want to come to Celtic? And if he says no, you just go, right, fine, that's it. End of. Move on. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. It's as simple as a simple phone call to the player from the manager of Celtic. Closes it down in one move. There seems to be Brendan Rodgers seems to be having nothing to do with transfers at all when it comes to Celtic, which I think is a bit strange, because it should be the Celtic manager that's on the phone trying to convince a player to come to a club, telling him where he's going to, what his plans are for the player, what the plans are for the club. It's not happening with Celtic, is it? Brendan Rodgers isn't the man that's having that conversation. It's someone else that's having the conversation. Matt O'Reilly is understood to be travelling to France for a medical ahead of his loan move to Marseille. So Celtic will not get any money from that deal because it's just a loan. Bernardo needs game time at Celtic. If I would be him, I'd be looking for a new club. He would have changed the game yesterday. I think that Bernardo is an interesting one. TV screen went red and my whole face went red. I think that Bernardo is an interesting... I think Bernardo's been told by the hierarchy at Celtic. This could be controversial, right? But I think that Paulo Bernardo's been told by the hierarchy, just bide your time, because Brendan's not going to be here forever, and the next manager will give you your shot. I'm just putting that out there. It could be, it could be that could be the case. Time to drop Kasper, CCV and Callum play Shin, Murray and Paulo. Have you seen enough from Shin Yamada? Shin Yamada is another player that could shine under another manager. Not that I want, and by the way, don't take this as I'm trying to get rid of Brendan Rodgers. For all you Brendan Rodgers lovers out there, I want Brendan Rodgers to stay at the end of the season. I think that he's been given the short end of the stick. This is my opinion on it. I think that he's went into a conversation with the board at the summer. They've been miles apart on what they want. So Brendan's went, well, I'm going to stay over here, mate, and I'm going to just say, look, you're not meeting my expectations. You're not going down the road. You're going through this managed decline this season, and it's not going to get us into the Champions League. I want the players in now. So Brendan Rodgers is using that as a bargaining tool. And then the board are going, do you know what? I think we're just going to keep the... I don't think he's lost the dressing room. He's not lost the dressing room. Not yet. No Celtic manager loses the dressing room. But players can't get managers sacked. What I will say is, I think that although Brendan will stand in public and say, yes, it's a marriage made in hell. Peter Lawwell is not my best friend. He's a complete knob end. But we work together fantastically. With my Gucci belt ready to come off and fucking bitch slap him. So but we'll wait and see. But I think that my own, as much as Brendan Rodgers can come out and say that yes, we're all fighting for a better Celtic and going in the right direction, I really think that in the background is a completely different scenario. Brendan Rodgers not having anything to do with any type of transfers at all, having no input, having no idea why Adam Ida was sold, having no explanation to why Adam Ida was sold. It's completely bizarre. I mean, is he not the man that after training, Adam, come to my office after training, we need a chat. Do you know the old P45 chat? When I worked in a sawmill back in the 1990s when I was just a kid, you always knew when somebody was getting sacked because they got the come to my office on Friday afternoon talk, and then you never seen them again. They're gone, and it was great when it happened to me. But I think that there's something similar is going on at Celtic, but it's not Brendan that's doing the final chat. There's someone else at Celtic going to the players, right, you're leaving. You're not getting a chance to say your goodbyes to all your mates Thursday night. Don't know, and it seems to have happened after the training session. I don't know, maybe looking into it too much, but that's all we can do. That's all we can do because Brendan Rodgers is just talking insane stuff, and there's no rhyme or reason to if he's telling the truth, if he's lying, if he's been honest. If he really has no idea what's going on, but what the hell is he doing? Do you know what the hell is he doing? Brendan needs that chat, in my opinion. He does, Kaiser. He does. Kaiser, you fancied going along to Celtic Park tonight and we're jumping on live Zoom call. I think Calmac looks as bad. He does not have class players around him. Gus, I've been saying that for a long time. You've got to remember that when Callum McGregor came through the ranks at Celtic, look at all the players that he had around him in the midfield. Do you know, look at all the fantastic players that he had round about him in the midfield. And he was never the standout one. I'll send you a WhatsApp, Kaiser. He was never the standout player. He was never meant to be the standout player. Do you know, he was the young lad that was coming through the system, and which was always to be commended. We love young lads coming through the system at Celtic and having a longevity of a career at Celtic. He was never meant to be the man. He was never meant to be. He was always going to be captain. There was no one else when you look at captain material. But he was never meant to be in the holding midfield role. Brendan Rodgers has pulled him back, the same as what he kind of done with Scott Brown. Well, it wasn't Brendan Rodgers that did it to Scott Brown. It was Gordon Strachan. Gordon Strachan turned Bruni into the midfield general that he is. Do you know, Les Watt says man's decline. It is man's decline, and I've been telling you that for years. And now people are starting to believe. You know, you can go through the Celtic timeline from Martin O'Neill, from Gordon Strachan, and you could see the peaks and troughs. Even Neil Lennon, speaking about it yesterday, was one of the biggest revelations that I've ever seen anyone connected to Celtic publicly come out and say, and nobody jumped on it. Nobody in the studio jumped on the fact that Neil Lennon said, yeah, the quality of the squad declined. Managed decline. Nobody jumped on it at all. Nobody jumped on the fact that Celtic continually go through a phase of spending exuberant amounts of money to increase the squad quality, a Brendan Rodgers word. They then go on to get the better players in. They increase the wage bill, and then the Celtic board go, do you know what? We just take 20% off that wage bill. That's 20% more profit for the club. So let's just come back down a bit with the wage bill instead of trying to get better deals with sponsorships, trying to do better deals outside of European context for sponsorship with deals of TV rights and stuff. There's a lot of other ways, but accountants being accountants, they look at the first thing that they'll look at, and this is a Tory thing. The first thing any Tory will look at is, let's reduce the wage bill, which is from me, when I started my first business back in 2000, the first thing that I did was put every single member of staff that are brought in 50 pence more than the minimum wage at the time. And you're talking about 2000. So everyone was paid 50 pence more than the minimum wage. And at that point, a lot of people weren't even getting paid minimum wage because it wasn't a legal requirement. So it was more a living wage that I was paying people at the time. And it was always a case, if you pay people the money, you keep them happy. You keep the staff happy, you keep them motivated. Not Celtic. It's like, fuck this. We'll just reduce the wage bill. We'll bring in a couple of players that are absolutely rank rotten compared to the last standard of player, but we'll keep winning the league. We know we'll keep winning the league. We just keep that 5% ahead of... We should have been putting 5 past that lot yesterday. Martin O'Neill, 6-2, 5-1. Big scorelines against Rangers. Brendan Rodgers even had big scorelines against Rangers. A good, motivated Celtic team is annihilating that team yesterday. Absolutely annihilating that team. We came way down to their level. We allowed ourselves to come down. But as we could sign Messi, Ronaldo, let me just get Kaiser's comment up. We could sign Messi, Ronaldo, they wouldn't see the ball as Carl was too busy passing it back to Liam Scales. I would suggest not, Kaiser, and I know what you're saying. You are just being facetious and cheeky with it. But if he had the better quality of player around him, why would you give it to Rio Hatate yesterday? When all Rio Hatate did would go, fucking passed it back the way. Not once did Rio Hatate turn around and go forward. Well, he did, but not enough. How many passbacks did Rio Hatate do yesterday? But it's Callum that gets the stick. And I know why Callum gets the stick. Because he's Scottish, he's came through the system, he's an easy target. But there was a lot of players yesterday that should get absolute pelters. I mean, if we can give Yang dog's abuse for his woeful play. Woeful. I mean, it's one player that should never pull on a Celtic shirt again. Rio Hatate has to be in there. Because Rio Hatate's passing and overall gameplay yesterday was just shocking. A minute to I just go into a different... oh, shit. Alright, let me see if there is any updates. There's nothing going to be kicking about. Liverpool smashed the record. The Isaac deal, 130 million quid. It's absolutely bonkers. And then you get Celtic, who will not even go out and pay £5 million for a player. They'll go, nah, do you know what? We'll come in a bit. We'll come in at $2.5 million. Is that good enough for you? No, just give us the $5 million. Okay, we'll give you $3 million. No, give me the $5 million. Right, okay, we'll give you $4 million. Which part of $5 million do you not understand? Let me think about it and we'll come back tomorrow. Jesus Christ. It's no wonder guns are illegal in this country because it's madness. Man. Right, let me just jump back into this. It's not up to Chalmark how to change. Tate is not as good as he thinks he is. Correct. Paul, correct. Completely correct. What's getting clipped? Me shooting folk. That sounds like me buying a car, Baz. It sounds like everyone buying a car, isn't it? Chalmark gets it because he's captain. And rightly, your team isn't playing. Your captain needs to step up. And he's not been doing that. By step up, do you mean grab the ball, grab the game with the scuff of the neck and carry the game forward? Or do you mean start shouting at players and motivate the players? Because Scott Brown did that fantastically well. Scott Brown did that in abundance. Callum McGregor's never a Scott Brown. He's never a holding midfield role. And at Celtic, at a club like Celtic, you should not just have... Look back to Martin O'Neill's team. Do you think if it was left to just Lenny to shout at everyone, this is how bad we've got. We've only one leader, and that's Calmac. Look at great Celtic teams going. Look at the team that had Paul Lambert and in the team. Paul Lambert was a fantastic player, but you try to get him to shout over the top of Jackie McNamara, and you had a trouble on your hands. Do you know? Quinny says that McGregor needs to stop trying to land a plane with his arm gestures and focus more getting through the middle on the pitch. He never dribbles past anyone. Quinny, nobody dribbled past anyone yesterday. Do you know, I think that Scott Brown never really dribbled past anybody. How many times did Scott Brown take on players? He went in for crunching tackles. He stopped the play. Do you know, he made timely tackles. He could see players going into positions. He would cut them down. But we're expecting... please stop bringing politics into it. There's no difference between Labour and the Tories. Both puppets to the elite. Yeah, they are, but it's Tory members that are on the board. So I'm just saying. Oh, there is one Labour guy, Brian Wilson. To be, you're completely correct, Baz. There isn't enough balls in the current squad. All pussies. There isn't. There's not enough captains. There's not enough leaders. You know, everybody looked at Scott Brown as a leader. Do you know? Even when Kieran Tierney was coming through the system, he was a gobby wee shite. When he came through, you know, Kieran Tierney was a gobby mouthworth. You had Lustig. He wasn't a shrinking violet. You had all these players. We don't have that in the current team. You've got a bunch of Japanese players that are like... You've got Rio Hitati, when he loses the ball, he goes... Rio Hitati would not get in a team that went to 9 in a row under Scott Brown. I'm going to put that out there. Go and stop putting that stupid red advert on. Do you know, I don't think that Rio Hitati would get anywhere near the team that took us to 9 in a row. He doesn't get in that midfield at all, if you ask me. That's how bad that we've came down. Now, Ange Postecoglou did fantastic bringing those players over, but Brendan Rodgers keeps on going on about, and this is why I worry about today, and about the fact that we may lose Rio Hitati today. We may lose Dyson Maeda today, because he keeps on saying 4-year cycle. Players have been here 4 years, coming to the end of a cycle. Nitch him. Hitati, nitch him all day long, mate. Nitch him all day long, surely. Kaiser says teams have Brendan Ball figured out, forced, but they had the exact same with Ange Ball. Look at the last season at Ange. They had cotton on to the way that Ange played football, and they'd done the low block. So, do you know, the low block is a thing. The low block was never here in 2019. Teams didn't sit back in 2019. Do you know, after COVID and when Ange came in, the low block kind of come creeping into the game. And the third season that Ange was here, the low block was in effect. Do you know, it was well cemented. People knew how to play against Ange. Mitchell Frame. No new update on the Scottish Premiership window. Would like to see us play with 2 strikers. Yeah, go back to 3-5-2. I've said that many a time. I think that Celtic, we need a Celtic manager with a bit of balls, and especially in Scottish football, because there's no need to play 4 at the back, and it is all about, you know, it's your traditional wing backs getting up. this modern nonsense about bringing one into the midfield. Just flood the midfield with 5 midfielders. Good old fashioned. You know, put your two wingers on the right on the touchline, and they don't come in from the touchline. You know, just have them bolting up and down the touchline. And this is the issue with modern wingers. They come in field too much. They come in field far too much for me. I mean, look at the game yesterday. You had Benji playing on the wing, but he was about 20-30 yards for the touchline, which is no good. Because if you're a defender, holding midfield player, and you're going, there's nobody on the wing. Where's Benji? He's right in front of me. That's no good. That's no good as a midfield player. People criticising Callum McGregor, saying he needs to pass it forward a bit more. But he looks out to the wing, and Benji's not on the touchline. Callum automatically thinking there should be a left-sided midfield player out there, and there's not. And it's, well, and then you go, well, that's it fucked up. It's the formation that's causing the problem. And that's for the manager to sort out. If I'm manager and you've got wingers with the pace that we have our wingers, you tell them, mate, just stand on the touchline and wait on the ball coming into you. But Brendan's like, no, you need to come in and you need to narrow the pitch. Fuck off. Good teams do not narrow a pitch. You know, if you want to pass side to side in front of a team that's gone back, narrowing the pitch is the best way to do that. Stretch the full width of the pitch. Make sure that you're stretching the opposition to the maximum and get pinpoint passes. And we don't do that. The amount of passes that are wayward from Celtic are unbelievable. The amount of passes that are the passes just behind the player. The player, instead of running onto a ball, our players are having to hold up. And then that allows the opposition to come in. And then don't get me started about Rio Hatate yesterday, because there was one point Rio Hatate, there was I think it was Benji that was on the wing. He's seen 2 players going to Benji, and Rio Hatate just walks up. He should be running up to make space for the player to get the ball to him. Any player that's got 2 players doubling up on him is going to struggle. So it's up to your midfielder to come and help him out. And that wasn't happening. And it doesn't happen. You know, there's a lot more that needs to be changing at Celtic. Where are the overloads? Yeah, stop passing back quicker all round, I think, about yesterday. Yeah. Quinny says, agree, Baz, but width wasn't the problem yesterday. Score versus the team. With players doing a job of half each. We get crowded at the ball. We do get crowded at the ball, but there's not enough movement from our players. It's a very static system that we have. Do you know? And it's playing position. We almost play attacking football like a team plays a zonal defence. Do you know? It's like you mark that area, and we play our attacking football like that. Do you know, it's like your wingers need to do this and then come into the box and act as second and third strikers. Do you know, you've maybe got a midfielder that will come in. We seem to have taken the creativity out of players, allowing a player a freedom. A modern day football player is very restricted in their freedom and what they can do. Do you know, could you imagine Paddy McCourt in this current Brendan Rodgers team? Do you know, he can't stick to a system. You've got to let him just get the ball at his feet and go. We don't have anybody like that at Celtic. We don't have anybody like that at all. And it's unbelievable that we're having to go to somebody like Paddy McCourt. Don't sell McCourt. Paddy McCourt, I just don't think you'll understand. If you sell McCourt, Paddy McCourt, you're gonna have a riot on your hands. Don't sell McCourt, Paddy McCourt, I just don't think you'll understand. Cause if you sell McCourt, Paddy McCourt, you're gonna have a riot on your hands. Yeah, there's Monday morning sing song for you. But you never thought you'd get that this morning. Right, let's jump into the super chats. John, the truck driving legend. Fantastic super chat, mate. Still driving God. Celtic will offer 3 million and pocket a packet of Rizzlers for a £10 million player if we're lucky. Yeah, throwing a packet of Airwaves. Scott, super chat, thank you. Big thanks to Scott, fantastic. Who was at the game yesterday? The Derry Pelly, yeah, absolutely fantastic. He was. Ravens Reborn, long tennis. That's my Yamada tune, Baz. No. Michelle's made a Yamada song. With our board utter dross, we need the extra hours. Yeah, we do need the extra hours. I mean, the rest of the European football closes at 7 p.m. tonight, everywhere, apart from Scotland. And to me, I mean, the countdown timer's on. It's 9 hours and 18 minutes to the end of the window around Europe. Meanwhile, Celtic. What's left in the market, man? Imagine Henrik in this team. My God, Henrik wouldn't score the goals. He would. Not a chance. Henrik wouldn't score the goals that he scored if he was in this team. At this rate, we'll probably go for Paddy Roberts. You know what it means to play for us. That's the kind of shit this board will do. The whole fucking team's a mess. Mirror in the boardroom. At this rate, we won't be able to use Skinner if he doesn't score. Yeah. 11 p.m. Scotland only, 7 down south. Yeah. It's 7 p.m. all around Europe. Well, it'll actually be 8 p.m. in Europe. 8 p.m. in Europe, 7 p.m. London. 7 p.m. London. Dave Turnbull at Aberdeen? He is not, surely. I'm not saying anything. Oh, wait a minute. David Turnbull could be on his way to Aberdeen. That'll come back to haunt Celtic. I mean, a lot of people said that he wasn't. You've got to remember there was a time that David Turnbull kept Rio Hatate out the team at Celtic because David Turnbull. Nah, it's all old news. That's old stuff. That's old news that you're picking up, Michelle. There's nothing. It was rumoured in July. The Preston Journal. Up in Aberdeen. Is that a real account? I'm not rating that. It says it's the official Twitter page of the Preston Journal. It's only got 5,000 followers. Mind you, it's Aberdeen. Anyway, who cares about Aberdeen? It's the Celtic transfer window that we are worried about. Another super chat just came in. Let's get that one. Brian. I think that people were forgetting that the chemistry between Alistair Johnson and Nico Kuhn last season. We are playing as 11 individuals this season. Yes, we are. But is that not what pre-season's for? Is that not what Brendan Rodgers in pre-season should be for? Getting the togetherness, going away on the summer tour, get the players together, get them focused on, is that not what the training pitch is? What exactly has pre-season been about this year? Because as it stands, I can't see anything apart from the change of formation to a 4-2-3-1 formation that Brendan Rodgers has actually made work. And Brendan Rodgers is a big advocate of saying, we need a good pre-season. We need a good pre-season. Pre-season is when we work on things. If you go back every single interview over the last 3 summers that we've had Brendan, he talks about using pre-season for tactics, formations. When we're on the away trip, it's when we cement all these things. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I just don't see it. I don't see what... Pre-season's been a piss up. Yeah, that's what it is for Celtic fans. I mean, I used to love pre-season away games. Do you know, it was brilliant. I think the funniest ones was when we played Ajax 2 years in a row. That was a complete riot. Shots at the buses. That was mental. The good old days. The good old days. It was 4-3-3 every game. Well, you could say it was 4-3-3, but when you look at the original setup, it's more a 4-2-3-1 that Brendan is trying to set up, and it's not working. Engels trailing, cloaking strips. We need a right back. Ralston is no attacking threat. I wouldn't be surprised if we did get a player in for that position today, as the window slams shut. That's the noise we're all waiting on tonight. 12 o'clock my time. Will they get anyone in? Is the big question. Ralston's one of the worst good squad player, but out of his depth in bigger games. Ralston is carrying a bit of an injury, remember. He wasn't 100% fit. There's so many players in the squad, and we had to play yesterday, Ralston being one. He wasn't 100% fit. Should we talk about Kieran Tierney? Not 100% fit. What was Kieran Tierney doing all pre-season? Why is he not 100% fit? But he's not played 90 minutes for a long time. We need to bring him in slowly. This is what I hear when I hear Brendan Rodgers doing an interview. What's he going to say next? Yeah, that's what he's going to say. Oh man, the whole midfield was missing space. They were so massive. Yeah, the window's beginning to feel like a rebuilding job. Wait till next summer then, Scott, because the amount of Celtic players that we're going to lose next summer, you're going to lose James Forrest. For one, he comes to the end of his career. There are a number of players that are out of contract. Let me just get this up. Right. A significant number of players are set to have their contracts end in 2026, 2027. Key players: James Forrest, Kasper Schmeichel are expected to see their contracts expire. Tony Ralston, Dies Maida, contract expire 2027. Do you know, there's a lot of players that next year, 2026, you've got James Forrest, Kasper Schmeichel, Mitchell Frame, who's been sold to Aberdeen. Unbelievable, that one. Sean McArdle, Simpson Poozy, he's on loan. Jude Bonner, Ben Summers, they all run out of contract next year. 2027, if you want to talk about rebuilds, you've got Tony Ralston, Stephen Welsh, Dies Maida, Adam Montgomery, Luke McCowan, and then 3 players from the academy. 2028 is even worse. The amount of players you're looking at: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's away, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 players are out of contract in 2028. We need a shitload of players in. And I think that it's not just this window that's disappointing. The windows of the last couple of years have been disappointing. So rebuild probably good for us next year, I think. But does the rebuild include backroom staff? This conversation needs to be had, because having the same backroom staff for over a 10-year period, whilst you could turn around and say, yes, it's been a successful period, But are the backroom staff part of the issue? It's okay saying the manager needs changed. It's the manager's system. The manager's the fall guy. Do you know, the manager's the fall guy for any formation. Ange Postecoglou said, I don't do anything on the training field. I leave that to John Kennedy. John Kennedy sorts out the training, sorts out the training schedules. I just come in, look over the players. Yep. Pick the team. That's my job as manager. Brendan Rodgers will do the exact same. Do you know, if it's not fixed, if it's not broken, don't fix it, will be the hierarchy at Celtic. Do you know, we've got all these, and what gives it away is when Kieran Tierney came back, he said, it's like I've not been away, because everything's just the exact same as it was when I was here the last time. You've got the same people taking the training. You've got the same people in the back room. Is it time for a change of the backroom staff? And not just the manager when it happens. I mean, I think that we're all of an agreement that the manager will leave now at the end of the season. If he doesn't, we need something. Something has to change. And I don't think it's just the players. Kasper has finished. Play the young lad, he's way better. Yeah, is that. Strachan's like a computer hacker in the dugout typing away on his laptop. I don't see what Strachan. Continuity is bad if you're winning things. Brown Warrior. Look back to Alex Ferguson's tenure as Manchester United manager. He never had the same number 2 for more than 2 seasons. 3 seasons at a push. 20 years or whatever it was that he was at Man United. Continually changing things. You cannot tell me that teams that go to the top level, win Champions League, dominate the English Premiership for the time that he did, he would never have done that if he had kept Brian McClair as number 2. Never. Not a chance. You've got to remember, Brian McClair was in his backroom staff when he was first at Man United. McLaren, yeah, he was his number 2 as well. He's not going to keep. He never kept McLaren for long. There was loads of people that he didn't keep. You know, he brought in people to fit and change things up. Still playing the same style of attack in football, but it brought in different ideas. You need to change things. People go stale in a job. Everyone gets stale in their job. You should be a bishop, Baz. All this stuff about the hierarchy. Yeah. It must be just you, mate. Come out and then go back into your app. Refresh your app. Brian Kidd. Yeah, there was loads of, I mean, you think about how many, I mean, I'm going to ask. Let me just try this. How many? Right, Sir Alex Ferguson, during his 26 years, this is... Yes, that can't be right. It says he had 6 different assistant managers across his reign. That can't be right. Archie Knox, Brian Kidd, Stephen McLaren, Carlos Walter Smith. That's not right. ChatGPT, you're shite. Yeah, maybe it is actually. Promoted from the youth setup, Brian Kidd was for the youth. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, who cares about that? It's all about Celtic and a very lack of information coming out about Celtic, as expected this morning. I mean, Celtic aren't going to get into gear until this afternoon. And then that's when you'll start to see players moving. But it's always good to get this morning edition. As also, Kaiser would keep Brendan Rodgers and backroom staff need refreshed. I think so. A new tactical view. I think so. I mean, if Fergie can have as many as he did over the years, do you know, and all I'm saying is maybe it is time for a fresh approach. I mean, when we lost out on a manager, he didn't take the job because he didn't get to bring in his backroom staff. So he decided not to take the job. When we brought in Ange, he was asked by Dermot, who do you want to bring? Who do you want? And he went, nobody, I'll bring myself. The Celtic board are going, yes. They changed when the team rehash was needed. No, our board. If Brendan Rodgers leaves, they'll bring Stevie Clark. God, no. Rodgers spent 40 million last year, and we won the league. You've always got, I don't know what this obsession with Celtic fans. It doesn't seem to happen in any other club, but Celtic fans have this obsession with, he spent 40 million. So what? There's a player just been sold for 120 million. One player. And you're complaining about Rodgers spending 40 million on a selection of players. That's a mindset thing for Celtic and Scottish football. Do you know, that's what holds us back. Do you know, that's what holds us back. In my opinion, everyone's entitled to their opinion. And, do you know, that's what makes this channel great. But digging up how much Brendan Rodgers has spent on money, look how much Martin O'Neill spent. Martin O'Neill left us 40 million in debt. Nobody digs up, well, Martin O'Neill. Oh, it's all right, it's Martin. You know, we did the double last year and I had our best season in the Champions League. Exactly, Kaiser. But people still complain. We spent 40 million. We've got 20 million sitting on the bench then. Oh man, it's Scottish football. You can't have 40 million sitting about then. Fuck all, man. We sold Matt O'Reilly for 25 million. Yes, exactly. Do you know? 40 million is peanuts. And today's the day that if you want to be looking at the deals going through, deal in principle, 21 million for Ajax for a forward, 21 million for one player. Right? Manchester City, Man United. 21 million transfer. Do you know? There's more than 40 million in the biscuit tin. We moan when we spend hardly anything, and then when we do spend, it's a loss. You can't win. You can't. Reports says Dolberg not convinced. Yeah, James, that's been since yesterday morning. We did cover that yesterday, that he wasn't convinced in coming to Celtic. He didn't start the game last night. Everyone thought that it was maybe because he was on the verge of getting sold. He came on in the 73rd minute as a substitute, and right after that his team got 2 players sent off, and then his fan base took to the stadium and protest outside the stadium. Didn't allow the players to leave due to the fact that they had just lost a derby 2-0 and they were absolutely terrible. 40 million in the market is not worth on the field. Exactly. Garnacho went for 40 million the other day. Yep. Highlight of the season: Brussels Martin and Baz sounds effects. Hey. Oh, come on, let's make some fucking noise. Yeah, no, we'll do that when we sign someone, right? This is the deal done noise. Hey, you're in the house until the window closes. Does that sound like a window closing? It's awfully echoey. We've brought in 40 million in sales, says Michelle. 40 million. We've brought in 40 million in this window. Spent 7.5 million. Where's all the money men talking about that? It's good. It's good. It's all good. The guy from South America looks shite. Too small and too lightweight. He's only on loan. Give him a chance. Sounds like a basketball. Where do I go back on? I'm going to go back onto free sounds and get another couple of studio. What's just happened there? There we go. We're back on. There we go with stats. Adamida. And the biggest news of this morning concerning really Celtic, where we're not going to get any money, is Matt O'Reilly loan to Marseille. Loan move to Marseille, which is bonkers. Let's talk about, as this article says, the elephant. We've already done it. The Kieran Tierney elephant in the room. Brendan Rodgers yesterday saying in the press conference, we don't set up to play side to side. Maddie Bonney says the problem with transfers is who in their right mind want to play in Scotland? Fact. Yes, you can say that to a certain extent, but when Celtic sell Celtic to players, Nico Kuhn said it. I was told that I was going to be here for 2 years and move on. They sell the fact that they're going to play in Europe, and they sell the fact that they're going to, now be it the Champions League, be it whatever, but they're giving players a platform, and that's the way that the Celtic hierarchy do it, and that's the way that the managers sell the club. We give you a platform to go to the next level. We're a stepping stone to the English Premiership. It's the way that Celtic have done their business over the years. We know that we are a selling club. We know that we're a club that comes in and gives a player a platform to then move on to a higher level. We accept that. But what we don't accept is the inability to get in replacements. Kyogo, no replacement. Matt O'Reilly. Who was the replacement for Matt O'Reilly? Arne Engels? Was he the replacement for Matt O'Reilly? Different type of player? Matt O'Reilly was more sort of out on the wing. I suppose you could say Arne Engels was the replacement for Matt O'Reilly. But Matt O'Reilly, 1.5 million or whatever it was. Arne Engels, 11 million. People will say somebody needs hung, drawn and quartered for that kind of nonsense. Kennedy, for his development, needs to become a manager elsewhere. Might not be a bad idea to have Maloney as our number 2 to freshen it up a bit. I think Maloney has been brought to the club with something in mind that is a way above our pay grade. He's not taking a low-paying pathway manager job for no reason. There's cloak and dagger stuff going on in the back. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Brendan Rodgers comes out the office every day pulling the daggers out his back. It's just my opinion. But yeah, I know what you're saying. And has John Kennedy, as good as he is, has his time at Celtic come and gone? I mean, there's loads of deals being done at the price range that Celtic are looking at, but we just don't see what we get anything in. Everyone agreed that the board have let Rodgers and the fans down badly, but his tactics have to change with the players that he has at his disposal. Yeah. Sound effects ready for 4 loans. That's the loan transfer effect. Or should it be this one? Sprinkle of fairy dust. If we buy someone, if Brendan Rodgers comes out and says something, and if Kaiser makes it to Celtic Park and manages to come live for Celtic Park for us, hey, there we go. I promise I won't have those noises on all day. I know they can be deeply annoying to some people. I'm just fucking bored of the nonsense that's going on with Celtic. He's played 1 game, give the guy a chance. Can we hear a distant rumble of chat about a January window? Oh, that's a Brendan Rodgers one. That's a and in January, fucking January, just wait and see what happens in January. We'll sell Dyson Maida, we'll sell Rio Hitati and Hun Alert, is there? Aye, subscribe to the channel. Get your family fortunes one out. Oh, Jesus. Circus music when it closes. Do we have circus music one? Is it? It's well, that one. Nah. I need to get some more of that one, There we go. Right, stop this. This is madness. We're grown-ups here. We're acting like entitled fans, making up noises for and trying to excite ourselves during the transfer window. Let me just see what. Set to complete a loan from Wolfsburg with an option to buy. I mean, if Millwall can get a winger in, why can't we? It just makes you wonder what Celtic are playing at. Anyway, that's the morning edition. It is 10 o'clock in the morning. 10, it's almost 10 past 10. Cowboy time. No, that's 10 to 10, isn't it? Oh, my love, my darling, I hunger for a fucking transfer. Leaving Celtic means frying pan to the fire. Welsh and Amura are on their way out on loan. I expected Inamura to go out on loan, even though I got shot down for saying it. And I didn't expect Welsh to go out on loan. I thought he'd be sold. Mate. He'll be raging. Welsh will be raging that he's not been sold because he had a chance earlier on in the window. If Rodgers cannot win this league, then Rodgers should walk. Wasted a lot of money on players, and we'll win the league, mate. I don't think that we won't win the league. I definitely don't think that we won't win the league. Do you know? I think that we will win the league. Anyway, right, that's me done and dusted. I will be back for the afternoon edition of the That's for our whatever. Anyway, I will be back for the afternoon edition. Yeah, she has a job. She's working on her side of the estate and the house. Cheeky fuckers. I think it's anyway, right, I'll catch you up this afternoon. Hopefully there will be some movement on Celtic transfers that we can get in at least 4 players today. I think there will be anything up to 4 or 5 players will leave Celtic today. On that note, have a fantastic morning, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.